Brett Favre threw more interceptions than any quarterback in NFL history. 336 of them across 2 decades with the Packers, the Jets, and the Vikings. Nobody else who has ever played the position has given the ball away that many times. But 336 on its own doesn't tell you whether Favre was careless with the football or simply played longer than anyone else. Favre also holds the NFL record for career pass attempts, over 10,000, and for consecutive starts, 297 in a row in the regular season, 321 including playoffs, a streak that ran for almost 19 years without him missing a single one. Throw the ball that many times for that long, and the counting number climbs no matter how careful you are. The number that actually means something is the rate. Interceptions divided by attempts. Recalculate by rate, and Favre's record looks different. His career interception rate is 3.3%. That's worse than some of his contemporaries, but noticeably better than plenty of quarterbacks with far fewer total interceptions. George Blanda, second all-time with 277 picks, has a rate of 6.9%, more than double Favre's. Tittle and Joe Namath, both comfortably inside the top 20 for total interceptions, both sit around 5.8% themselves. Meanwhile, Aaron Rodgers holds the lowest career interception rate of any quarterback in NFL history, right around 1.4%, across a career of his own spanning 2 decades. Some of that gap is Rodgers simply being careful with the football, but some of it is the league itself changing underneath every quarterback who's played it. League-wide interception rate has been falling for over 60 years, not from 8%, the number you'll often see quoted, but from around 6.3% in 1960, down to 5.2% by 1970. Then came the rule changes of 1978, restricting how defensive backs could contact receivers downfield, and loosening the rules on how offensive linemen could pass block, and the rate dropped hard almost overnight. 5.4% in 1978, 4.6% the very next year. It kept sliding most decades after that, 3.6% by 1990, 3.3% by 2000, just under 3% by 2010, and it sat right around 2% for most of the 2020s. So a low rate today isn't the same achievement as a low rate in 1960. Compare each quarterback to the league average during the actual years they played, and the picture gets more interesting than old guys were reckless, new guys are careful. Favre's 3.3%, measured against his own era's baseline of roughly 3.2%, comes out almost exactly even. Not an outlier either way. George Blanda's 6.9%, against an era baseline around 6.1, is a real half a point plus worse than his contemporaries. He wasn't just playing in a wild era, he was genuinely turnover-prone, even by that era's standard. Joe Namath's 5.8% tells the same story, worse than his own era's baseline, not just a product of it. Tittle is the surprise. His 5.8% looks identical to Namath's on paper. But Tittle's career sat almost a decade earlier, in an even higher turnover era, and adjusted for that, he actually comes out better than his own generation's average, not worse. 2 quarterbacks with the same raw rate, and era adjustment sends them in opposite directions. And the modern comparison matters too. Rodgers' record low career rate and Brady's rate are each roughly a point better than the specific era each of them played in. Rodgers doesn't come out as dramatically more careful than Brady once you adjust for the fact that he played in a slightly lower interception league to begin with. Both are genuinely elite for their own eras, by almost identical margins. Which brings it back to Favre and the actual record. It isn't primarily a record of recklessness, it's a record of length. The most attempts anyone has ever thrown, the longest Ironman streak at the position, sustained across nearly 2 decades without ever missing a start. An interception rate that was almost exactly average for his own era, multiplied by an attempt volume nobody else has come close to matching, produces the biggest total in NFL history. Not because he was his era's most turnover-prone passer, because he was on the field, throwing the ball, more than anyone else ever has been. Here's a twist that shows how much the record depends on the sample you pick. Switch it to just the playoffs, and the interception record changes hands entirely. Tom Brady, not Favre, has thrown the most postseason interceptions in NFL history. 40 of them, 10 more than Favre's 30. Brady's career interception rate is one of the best of his generation. He still leads this specific list for one simple reason. He's played in more playoff games than anyone else, by a wide margin. Same lesson as before, different sample. The record measures opportunity as much as it measures the quality of the decision-making. So, the record for most interceptions thrown in a career isn't really measuring recklessness. It's mostly measuring durability and attempt volume, Favre's specialty, and in the playoffs specifically, Brady's. Rate adjusted for era, it says less about carelessness and more about who simply played an enormous amount of football for an enormous number of years without ever leaving the field. That's the most intercepted quarterback in NFL history, properly framed. A durability record wearing a decision-making record's name. If you want more corrected NFL records like this one, subscribe. We post a new one most days.